The Emmy-nominated and critically acclaimed documentary "The Fire That Took Her" is now streaming on Paramount Plus. The film tells the story of the first woman to testify at her own murder after being doused in gasoline. We are joined by Judy's mom, Bonnie Bose. Thank you so much for your time today, and thank you for continuing to share her story.
Thank you for having me, Rudy.
Not to maybe, to this degree, but with all the festivals and with the movie being shown, I'm sure this is a light bulb moment for so many people watching the movie.
That is very true. It's been a light bulb moment, and for some, it's been hard, but to watch the documentary, although it's a story that really needs to be told.
We deal with addiction issues that are very clear in the movie, but I think a lot of times, whether it's addiction issues, whether it's a certain neighborhood the person is from, the color of their skin, maybe the position of power the man might be in, people aren't willing or don't listen to the woman in those kind of situations. What advice do you have for maybe somebody who might find themselves in something similar to be able to be believed?
My advice would be to seek help, but don't stop. Don't let that stigmatism that society so tries to become transparent, the stigmatism they put with that. I think it's so important to overcome and to let people know you're more than that person, whether it's the neighborhood culture or whether it's addiction. I think whatever you can do to remove that and really get the point across coming home with domestic violence, like Judy said, don't stop.
It is such a painful thing. It's such a hard thing to watch, but it's such an important thing, especially I think with teenagers and maybe with their parents or as kids getting into their first relationship, because you may not know necessarily what you're getting yourself into or what a quote unquote healthy relationship should look like. And this is really a great conversation starter for young adults to watch and to parents to watch this with their teens.
Very true, Rudy. And I think that one of the comments that Judy had said during her journey is, Mom, it starts with verbal abuse. And when you see the signs of verbal abuse, you need to stop and run. And I think that was very, very true.
What advice do you have for parents who may be, because I hear your struggles in the film as far as maybe things you believe, maybe things you didn't believe, or ways that you could have helped, or things that you were doing that necessarily didn't realize were, maybe part of the issues that she was going through. But what advice do you have for parents, especially going through maybe something similar to this, who may feel a little helpless in a situation that their child is in?
My advice to parents would be, don't listen at the stereotypes. Don't listen at society. Don't listen when people tend to, and I've heard comments such as, well, she put herself in that situation, and they tend to want to turn their back on myself or Judy or her kids during that time. And I think that albeit that can be the general consensus from people, I think it's so important not to let that penetrate the situation and to move forward with fighting with what is best with your child.
Have you been surprised, or was this the reaction you were expecting once the film came out and you were able to screen it and people were able to connect with you, as far as just how many of these stories are prevalent in our society?
I was somewhat surprised, although one of the reasons that I chose to let Patricia Gillespie do this documentary is that people don't want to hear this story, and therefore there's so many of these stories that don't come to the forefront. So because of that, and because of the stigma that comes to it, I believe that it is far more predominant than we are acknowledging as a society here in the United States, for sure.
Well, Bonnie, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for continue to share her story. I am so sorry about your loss, but I applaud you for all the work that you continue to do and all the awareness that this film is to bring. The Fire That Took Her is now streaming on Paramount Plus, and congratulations on that Emmy nomination.
Thank you, Rudy. And if you'd like more information, you can go to judysfoundation.org and follow up to get more information on her story. So thank you for having me.
Thank you.